The standby signal number 1 is currently in force. The tropical cyclone warning is set to last till at least midnight. This, as the observatory said, tropical storm Prapiroon will further strengthen before making landfall on Hainan Island tomorrow morning. Weather authorities are assessing whether an upgraded warning signal is needed later this evening. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Victoria Harbour was obscured by overcast and occasional showers throughout the day. The observatory noted tropical storm Prapiroon, currently located at the center of the South China Sea, gradually moved northwards this afternoon. The weather body forecast the storm will pass through Hainan tomorrow and enter the Gulf of Tonkin, before once again making landfall around the region between Guangxi and northern Vietnam. Weather authorities said strong winds and rainstorms will continue to affect the Guangdong coastline tomorrow. Local residents were also reminded to stay away from the shoreline because of huge waves and not to engage in any water activities. Senior Scientific Officer Yun Kwok Chung of the observatory said the city will continue to experience heavy rain as a result of a rain band developing in the south. Weather authorities are also assessing whether to issue a stronger tropical storm warning signal in accordance with changing weather conditions caused by Prapiroon. This as Tropical Storm Gye-mi, currently located in the northwest Pacific Ocean, is set to edge towards eastern Taiwan in the next few days, while the weather will remain hot throughout the middle of this week across southeast China. Meanwhile, there is a medium possibility of the tropical cyclone signal number 1 being upgraded to number 3 in Macau between tonight and tomorrow morning. Meteorological authorities there forecast the enclave will experience flooding of up to 0.3 meters tomorrow morning. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Former President Donald Trump held his first campaign rally since last week's attempt on his life in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with President Joe Biden saying he is ready to return to the campaign trail after a bout with COVID-19. Trump is riding high after last week's Republican National Convention. Security was tight around the Van Andel Arena, with a heavy police presence at street corners and balconies. In Butler, Pennsylvania last week, a shooter was able to climb onto a rooftop and take shots at Trump before being killed by a Secret Service sniper. Nazvi Kareem has more.
For someone who says he doesn't like to talk about last week's assassination attempt, Donald Trump could not help but talk about it. Indeed, it appears to be Trump's new rallying cry.
Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
Replacing the conspicuous bandage over his right ear with a skin-tone patch, Trump whipped up a frenzy among thousands of his supporters at a campaign rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan, one of several crucial swing states that could decide November's presidential election, reminding them how close the would-be assassin's bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania, came to ending his life.
Let me begin this evening with a very special thanks to Americans nationwide, including all of you here today, for your extraordinary outpouring of love and support in the wake of the horrific last Saturday event. And when you think of it, it was exactly 1 week ago today, almost to the hour, even to the minute. Yeah. What a day it was. As I said earlier this week, I stand before you only by the grace of Almighty God. That's true. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. From the lakes of Minnesota.
It's Trump's first rally with running mate J.D. Vance, who was unveiled as a vice presidential candidate at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee last week. Vance, as expected, started his speech by talking about the shooting.
I find it hard to believe that a week ago, an assassin tried to take Donald Trump's life, and now we've got a hell of a crowd in Michigan to welcome him back on the campaign trail.
Trump even joked about the incident, saying it was because he turned his head to look at a chart on his immigration policies that the bullet missed his head.
So I owe immigration my life. It's true. It's true.
Meanwhile, Trump's physician from his White House days, Texas Representative Ronnie Jackson, provided an update on the former president's health after the shooting. In a statement, he said the bullet came less than a quarter of an inch from entering his head and struck the top of his ear. He said it produced a 2-centimeter wide wound that extended down to the cartilaginous surface of the ear. While the wound is healing as expected, Trump must undergo a comprehensive hearing exam and follow-up care. Nazvi Karim, TVB News.
Israel also hit targets inside Lebanon. Hezbollah returned with rocket fire. A fire and then further explosions were seen in the coastal area of Adlun. Israel was targeting 2 Hezbollah armed depots and confirmed it used missiles and other means. Reports say 3 people were slightly injured. Hezbollah fired over 40 rockets at Israel earlier after a previous drone attack on southern Lebanon. The 2 sides have been exchanging fire over the border since Israel began its invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks. Locally, 2 exhibitors at the book fair in Wan Chai were recently asked to remove certain books from the event by the Trade Development Council, which organized the fair. Today, lawmaker Lai Tong-kwok says exhibitors can mention their concerns related to the exhibitor's manual and rules and regulations to the TDC. Mimo Singhai reports.
After his new book sharing at the book fair today, lawmaker Lai Tong-kwok, who is formerly the city's Secretary for Security, spoke about the TDC's recent request that 5 books be removed from a booth. Lai said he does not think the books involved are banned publications because the TDC only asked 2 exhibitors to not display them, adding that the books can still be bought elsewhere in the city. He said exhibitors can raise their concerns related to the exhibitor's manual and rules and regulations if they want clarifications.
If exhibitors think that these rules are not clear enough, of course, they can reflect their concerns to the organizer so that in future they can provide even more clearer versions to them.
These were the 5 affected books, including 3 by journalist Alan Au and 2 by former lawmaker Siu Ga-jun. One exhibitor, publisher Blue Sky, said they were reminded by the organizer to remove 2 of the books from the booth on Tuesday, a day before the fair opened to the public. On Saturday afternoon, the publisher received another reminder asking them to pull down 3 other books by the 2 authors. At first, TDC said the contents of those books were sensitive. They later said they had received complaints, the exhibitor said. He said the definition of sensitivity is ambiguous, making it difficult for exhibitors to do business. The exhibitor said they will take down 4 of the books and keep Alan Au's book about Hong Kong travelling on the shelf. In response to the matter, the TDC said they had informed the exhibitors that they must comply with the exhibitor's manual and rules and regulations and laws such as the Hong Kong National Security Law and the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance. The TDC said they will handle any issue in accordance with the established procedures if complaints related to suspected violations of the rules and regulations are received. Mims 9, TVB News.
Citybus said it hopes the government will approve its plan to reintroduce retired buses into public service with the aim of turning them into tourist attractions. The bus company currently owns 8 classic buses, including the recently restored Leyland Olympian, which primarily served the Sha Tin community during the 1990s. The vehicle's colorful seats and red curtains have also been refitted. Citybus said the remaining retired buses are suitable for service, but are currently restricted from operating on the city's roads by existing laws on vehicle registration. It hopes authorities will find a solution to permit the classic fleet to be back on Hong Kong streets as soon as possible. That is the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.